Sylvia here. Welcome. This is Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Tech tools, toys, news, hot jazz, a celebration of women today, women in jazz today, and passionate living. Okay, I'll be back in a bit, and I have a special guest here that it's going to be a really, really fun show today. Enjoy. I'll be back in a bit. Sorry, pulling my wearable gear off. Wearable gear. That's coming to Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle, because wearable gear is everywhere. Zenobia here, the Touchable Tech Diva. Welcome. Hump day to some people, Wednesdays to all of us, middle of the week for most of us. And I'm here. Take a little bit of time off, although you can get some work done when the music is playing and then come back for the teachable moments and me talking here at Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Okay, so hour and a half sleep because I decided I was going to take on this social media and blast this show. So what I had to do was, it's a part-time job. So sometimes I get backlogged and I say, okay, it'll just have to be organic and grow. But today I decided to take it on. So what I had to do was to create an announcement for the Facebook page. And the show has a Facebook page. And it's called Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. So I decided to create an event, not just put it in the body of the Facebook page, but create an event, which actually I think kind of works out a little bit better because then I can highlight the date and time. So I got that out. I blasted it out to my Facebook fans and my personal Facebook page. You have to have one for business and have your own personal one. And then also I posted it on Just Jazz, a couple of other jazz groups that I'm a member of. One of them's a 14,000 member private jazz group. And so I thought, well, I'll let them know about the show too. And then I had to go into my Constant Contact, which is an email marketing tool that I've used for a long, long time. And I actually had a template for the show already, but then I decided to blast it out because today is a really special show that I wanted people to know about while we were still in Women's History Month. That's what this is. March is Women's History Month. And so I'm dedicating and I'm celebrating women jazz instrumentalists, musicians for the show. And I wanted to let some people know that this is something special. And so I had to create the email for that. And having a template is like a beautiful thing because then you copy it and then you just replace stuff. You don't have to build it from scratch every time. So people, think about having an email marketing tool in your stable, and I'll talk about that later on in the show and actually show you some of the steps so you can get comfortable with the idea of using it. Because one of the beauties of an email marketing tool is that you can schedule things ahead of time so that you don't have to wait till the last minute like I did today and schedule stuff to go out at different times in the future. So if you're going on vacation or you're away, then it'll automatically send out the email. So I did that. I'm going to do the Twitter here in a minute. And so all of that, I decided to just take some time and to build. And also, it was kind of fun putting together this beautiful playlist. I think this is a really hot playlist. You're going to hear from some artists that you don't hear about ordinarily. And I think it's beautiful. And today I also have a special guest, Dr. Dawn Norfleet. And she's here, she's out in the green room, chilling out for a minute because we were all frantic around here. And I'm going to have her on in a little bit. I have some tech news today. There's a lot of tech stuff going on. But let me stop for a second. If you're watching me now, you got the email blast, you saw it on Facebook, or you just know I'm here every Wednesday from noon to 2. If I'm not here live, I've got a bunch of shows, and you can enjoy a replay at the same time zone, same spot. Actually, the time zone is where you are, but it's noon, 12 o'clock noon Pacific time, and of course, figure it out for your time zone. Although I think I might put together an infographic of the times for the show. That'll be kind of fun. That'll be a fun tool to use. Infographics, you guys know what that is yet? Infographics is actually a graphic that gives a lot of data and detail in pictures and text. And they're really, really cool. We're going to have one on the show today. So, yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that, we're here at the RMC studios in the middle of Los Angeles and bringing you this global show. I've got people watching all over the planet, which is fabulous. So there are going to be some things coming up where I think it's kind of exciting, where we'll know and be up close and personal with different parts of the globe. That's going to be really fun. And I just wanted to let you know, we're streaming live. If you go to rmconair.com and press the watch button or the listen button, you can either watch me or hear me. And then there's also a button there. If you're on your mobile, you can click the live mobile and it'll take you to the site. Now I forgot, to the site or to Ustream. You'll have to download the Ustream app. Now I talked to you guys about how to download apps in an earlier show, so go to the YouTube channel Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle and look at the past shows and find the one. Well, watch them all, like Quincy did. Quincy watched 8 hours of Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Love him. And then you can find out how to find the show on Ustream. Now, I have to say that I went through the drill of finding it on my phone, and it's not actually that easy. So one of these shows, I'm going to actually take you through the steps to set Ustream up on your mobile. Okay, so you got to come back and have your mobile ready at another show, and we'll go through this process of setting you up with Ustream on your mobile, because who's home a whole lot? And you have to take me with you on your mobile. Okay, you can do that. Okay. And then, of course, there's all kinds of other ways that you can see the show, and later on I'll have Chris put up the QR code, because I made a QR code for the show that takes you to the website that has all the information. We'll do that a little bit later. I'm kind of rushing because there's a lot of stuff going on. The Tech Talk is about wearables and streaming television and how it's going to disrupt your life again. We have all these technology disruptions going on. They're just flowing. I'm trying to keep up. In fact, I was gone a couple of weeks ago to Las Vegas to the Digital Signage Expo. Haven't put all the stuff up yet, but that's going to affect your life and your buying habits also. So I'll be covering that in the near future. Okay, talk. Let me tell you what you heard. You just heard from Miss Nedra Wheeler, and that was from an album called The Thresher, and that was a Jerry Gibbs sextet. She was featured on that. Very nice. And then opening up the show was Snoochie Pooch. Some of these names of these tunes are really cute. And that was Althea Renee. You've heard me play her music on the show before, and the album is In the Flow. Okay, we've got a lot. I don't know if I'll get to all the music today. I thought I was not going to have enough, but I've got a lot. Thanks to Dr. Dawn sending me some links on some fabulous women, so we're going to hear them. Okay, back to some more music. I've got the Tech Talk coming up, and then I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Dawn. Okay, Zenobia here, the Touchable Tech Diva. Why Touchable Tech Diva? Because I'm helping you to embrace technology, not fear it. Integrate it into your life to make your life more efficient so you can do more time with your passion. Okay, I'll see you in a bit.
May there be peace and love and perfection throughout all creation, O God. May there be peace and love and perfection throughout all creation, O God. May there be peace and love and perfection throughout all creation, O God.
Chris. You're supposed to let me know a little sooner. Hi, Chris. Chris is a married man now. Well, I guess been for a little while. Beautiful wedding pictures. Thanks for sharing. One day you'll get to see him, but not today. Okay, you just got a sampler of Dr. Don. Plays flute, sings 3.5 octave range. Yes, you're going to see her in a little bit. So that was just a little sampler. And then prior to that, I went old school here and went way back to the 60s. It's still beautiful music today. Alice Coltrane. Okay, Alice Coltrane. If you're a jazz aficionado, you would know the name Alice Coltrane and know that her career was really big alongside of her husband's, John. Okay, and so you heard Merci for the Speed of a Mad Clown in Summer. And, you know, I got that wrong. That was called The Sun. I'm jumping ahead. There's just so much to do. That was called The Sun. And that's from Monastic Trio, which you can get on iTunes. And, yeah, and then opening the set was another name if you're a jazz aficionado. And you know this family, Sheila Escovedo. And that was Merci for the Speed of a Mad Clown in Summer. That was kind of cute. And that was from Romance 1600. You know, oh, and by the way, Sheila E. now has a hot spot in Southern California. It's called the E Spot Lounge. It's in Studio City. And it's becoming a very popular place for and a hangout for jazz artists. In fact, one of my clients and a guest on my show, Stephanie Spurl, just had a performance there the other night, and she always sells out. So that was another sold-out evening at the E Spot Lounge. You can Google it, MapQuest, Google Maps, whatever. When you're in the area, check out that spot. And I'm just saying that that's a great spot to go hear some live music, which occasionally you'll hear me tell you, go hear some live music to heal your soul. Anyway, okay, so a little quick tech news. Boy, this time is going kind of fast today. Technology news. Okay, everybody's heard the term branding. I'm going to explore that in depth at one point at one of the shows. Not now, but I thought that this was really, really important. Did you put it up already? I'm not yet. Okay. So I have an infographic to show you that I found really, really interesting. And regardless of if you work for somebody or if you work for yourself, and if you work for somebody and you have the idea that one day you'll do your own business, you need to understand and know what branding is about. Okay, so what is branding? It's the branding, basically, this is what's that, is your first impression of a product, a person, a company, a thing. It's like the first thing you see, and that creates your first impression of that company. So, of course, you know all kinds of famous brands. We're inundated with them all the time. And what we don't realize is that a lot of times there can be millions and millions of dollars spent to create that brand. So I bring that up part of my tech news because that brand today is not just about putting it on letterhead. Well, not very many people use letterhead much anymore because nobody's printing and mailing envelopes hardly ever. In fact, I ordered some sticky labels and now they're just sitting around because I'm emailing and I'm not mailing stuff out. So your brand has to translate to all kinds of media nowadays. It needs to be on your emails. It needs to be on your website. Yes, on your business cards, of course. And just be in the forefront because it's a representation of you when you're not around to represent yourself, or even when you are around. But it is a representation of you, and the idea behind a good brand is that people will recognize that brand and have the association with you, your company, your product, your thing, whatever, right off the bat, subconsciously, without even thinking. That's the sign of a great brand. and people spend a lot of money on focus groups to see how their brands play. So anyway, I came across this article, and I give all credit to Up Startup for this infographic, and it's about how much did famous logos cost to design. Okay, so now we're just talking about the design, and they run the gamut from zero to millions. So okay, so Chris, now you can put up this infographic. So an infographic actually is a visual look at data, okay, without having to read a bunch of numbers. So here, let's look. Okay, down at the lower left, you see Coca-Cola in 1886 paid $0 for their logo. Nike was like $35. Oh, okay, and then Google spent nothing. Sergey Brin just opened up the free graphics app GIMP to make their logo. And then the same with Coca-Cola, though John Pemberton's bookkeeper drew the logo's Spencerian script by hand. Okay, we're talking 1886, and so there was a lot of script handwriting going on then. We don't write anymore, but so we use Photoshop or Illustrator or something else. And then Nike famously gave just $35 to a design student, which used to be an impressively thrifty figure until Twitter picked up their ubiquitous bird. Okay, so you see Twitter there for a mere $15 on iStock Photo. Okay, so then you look around and you look at Pepsi, $1 million. Because you can believe what was included in that $1 million was all kinds of pay and ad agency fees and focus groups because they had to try it out. And okay, I don't understand. BP, it's an oil company. They paid $221 million for that BP symbol, which depending on where you are on the planet, you still don't get positive vibrations or positive image. Because brands can play in your favor or play against you. So you have to, live right to support the brand that you put out there. And then what the BBC, $18 million. And somebody, oh, is it? Oh, 1.8. Okay, I'm trying to look at Chris's monitor. 1.8 million. And somebody commented in the comments, they paid $1.8 million for 3 letters. It was kind of funny how they said that. But anyway, you can run the gamut. Okay, you can switch back to me, Chris. It runs the gamut of what you want to do with your brand and how you want to create your brand and think about your brand. I recently did a logo, and I went with a company called Logo Nerds. And before they would even do anything, you had to send them a questionnaire. It was like a 2-page questionnaire. I should bring that in sometime when I do the full show on branding. I'll bring that in because I looked at that and then I walked away from that for about 3 months because I'm like, oh, I got to sit down and think about this stuff. So finally when I was ready, actually it was a little longer than that. When I was ready, I took the questionnaire and I sat down at my other office at the Lux Hotel with a glass of wine and I stopped and thought about my company and what my company is in order to answer the questions that were in that questionnaire, because the brand and the logo is one piece of your brand, but it's like the major piece of your brand, has to stand alone to represent who you are and what you're about, what your mission, what your passion is. And so, yeah, it took me a couple of days to really get through that questionnaire where I was happy with it. And also they included, okay, who's your competitor and what are they doing, which you need to do anyway as part of your market research. and find out what it is that they're doing, what you liked about what they're doing, which is what I do, and then what you want to do instead or better than what they're doing. So, and then you look at sites that you like or brands or logos that you like. So you actually have to really do some homework in creating your brand, because you want it to last for a long, long time. And, you know, we all dream of our brands and our companies outliving us. So if you want to have a good shot at doing that, spend some time on thinking about the image of your company, your business, your product. And I know a lot of you work for people, but then I have a lot of viewers who are solopreneurs or work for entrepreneurial type companies, and it's really, really important that you do stop and take time to really think about your company. And if you want to get that questionnaire, you can go to logonerds.com, or you can email me at my new email. The show has its own new email now, which is tdllshow@techdivatv.com. I think Chris is going to put it up. TDLL, that's for Tech Diva and Luxury Lifestyle. tdllshow@techdivatv.com, and say that you want to get that questionnaire. And I'll even share with you my questionnaire that I filled out, so you can see how I answered it, and how, you know, if you need a little jump start on answering some of those questions. And then also now, thank you, Chris. Now you can use this email to contact me. I'm not taking phone calls just yet. And until I get my intern in here, I can't deal with tweeting and emailing back, and my email is blowing up after I sent that email blast. So, people, just watch, and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay, so that's a bit of tech news. Here's some more tech news. Actually, and I'm going to spend a lot more time on it because I've got all kinds of stuff. The hot thing that's going around in the tech world is Apple again disrupting. We just got disrupted with the Apple Watch, and it's not even delivered yet. I think next month begins the deliveries for the Apple Watch, but here they go again, changing the media landscape with their 25-channel TV service. Okay, so let's talk about how you get your TV and how you get your videos and how you get your media. Okay, so you've got the over-the-air traditional free TV that is still surviving and holding on. They're trying to figure out how to keep their life and keep their survival, and Empire apparently is helping that a whole lot, because that's on over-the-air free TV, and they're one of the, you know, the whole media world is talking about the show Empire. It's on Fox. And it's about a music mogul and their family and all of their goings-on with the family. And so it's got the whole broadcast industry all astir, because apparently this is the first show in 20 years that is building audience week by week by week. They're getting more and more people that are watching the show from week to week. Usually you get the first hit, like the first couple of shows, and then it kind of wanes down or tops off, levels off. But not Empire. It's still growing. So everybody's all abuzz with that, and that's over-the-air TV. You don't need cable, you don't need, you know, cell phone, you don't need anything or satellite to watch that. Then, of course, you have cable, and so cable was a game changer for broadcast, because they were able to do content on cable that could not be broadcast on over the air because of all the many restrictions and the regulation by the FCC of over the air broadcast networks. So that was a game changer there too. So that's why you have like Orange is the New Black, all kinds of crazy shows that it's like, for me, they're showing that on TV. Okay. Now you have the ability to watch, well, let me show this, to watch TV on your TV from the internet. So now there's all kinds of original content that is now going on the internet. Netflix has been a leader, and they're creating a big stir with their original programming that they're developing. And so now here comes Apple. And let me say this, and you watch this, because now the TV manufacturers are making what's called connected TVs. I'll do a whole thing on connected TVs, and all that means is that your TV has an Ethernet cable, or it's Wi-Fi, so you can see what's on your laptop, on your computer, on the internet, on your actual TV. So that's expanded the features of TVs and continue to make TVs relevant. And then you have devices like the Apple TV device, which attaches to your TV, and it's Wi-Fi back to your router so that internet programming can be seen on your TV. So this isn't enough. Apple TV is not enough. This hardware is not enough. You gotta have software. So now Apple is going to be launching their own connected TV channels and service, so you can see their service. So if you're familiar with Hulu, there's Hulu, and then there's some other services that connect to a box like this. There are other boxes like this that are out. I'm going to see if I can get some more and just line them up and do an A/B comparison, because I'm a tech diva and that's what I do. So I'll be doing that. So anyway, yeah. So Apple has figured out the game where if you have hardware, you got to have software. You got to have your own software and push your own software. Otherwise, if you don't push software or have software, there's no reason for this to really exist. And it's a lot harder to get people to actually buy these devices, so you make these up. That's why, just look at the iPod. When Apple came out with the iPod, it wasn't enough just to have the iPod device. They created iTunes to drive content to the device. So here they are, and they're doing it again by having a hardware device and pushing software. Okay, so you can go back. There's a screenshot that I grabbed that I think it's supposed to be a screenshot of what their service is going to look like. It's going to launch in the fall. Yeah, that one. Yeah, okay. So this is what I've seen all over the net. As something that, and then you see the little Apple TV box down in the bottom. So I have some articles. I'm going to spend a whole thing on how this works. Oh yeah, the Apple service is supposed to launch in September, so everything is all abuzz, and you'll see that. And this is a screenshot of what it'll look like on your connected television. And of course, you'll use your remote control to click on and choose which one you want. Okay, so this is all part of streaming and driving content to streaming. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this show as a video streaming show, because then it can be on all your devices, okay? So I can be everywhere you are. And so there is this big mad push to be able to have your content and transfer your content into formats that can be shown on all these different devices. And as soon as I get some extra disposable income, my bet is to drop some money into server companies. This is a tip from the Tech Diva right here. Server companies, because this is going to increase the demand for servers and storage to store high-end and high-def video images. Because if you're at home and you've got your 65-inch TV, you don't want to see 640 by 480 standard definition TV that you used to look at on your 50-inch, half the room TV that you used to have, that's probably in your garage or the backyard because you don't have anything to cart it off. But yeah, so if you're looking at investing some money, that's one place that you can kind of look at, is support companies that will be doing streams. And I should be able to give you some interesting information on that in a few months down the road, because there's all kinds of stuff that's about to break out here. Okay, so so it'll be in the future, a future show, What's That, on streaming video and connected televisions and internet channels on your TV, and how that's going to change how you watch TV in your home. And of course, Apple is not the only one. Sony, I have a little article here on, from Sony. Sony's PlayStation View is going to have a TV service too. So everybody's playing leapfrog or catch up, make the frogs at least be at the starting point or at some point where they're all on the same lane with the streaming services, because we're watching video and TV on our phones. So you gotta stream to get it on your phone. Okay, that's all my tech talk for today. We're gonna do some more music, and then I'm gonna bring Dr. Don in very shortly. Okay, Zenobia here, the touchable. We're touching technology here at Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Tech tools, toys, news, hot jazz, passionate living. See you in a bit. Okay, Finsbury Park Cafe, beautiful sax, Candy Dulfer and Thomas Bank. That's from Candy Store. That one actually was played a lot. I think it was a crossover. It got into the crossover realm. And leading off the set was one of my favorite tunes, and it's called Red Clay. So if you're old school jazz, CTI jazz from the early 70s, you would know Red Clay. And this actually is something we don't get to hear this music very often from Patrice Rushen. And it's Patrice Ndugu, Chancellor, drums, and Derek Oleszewski, oh, I did that wrong, Oleszewicz. And that's from piano, bass, and drums. And I love the simplicity of the instrumentation, but it's such a rich tune. It's going on my phone now because I found it at 3 this morning. Yeah, so Red Clay. So again, this show today is celebrating women who are fabulous jazz musicians. Not so much vocal today, although my guest is a fabulous vocalist also. And I'm doing this because it was my shot at honoring women jazz musicians during Women's History Month. I got so much going on in my brain today. Yeah, it's Women's History Month. So in a way, I'm covering a historical period from the 60s to today via the music. Okay, so now it's time to meet my special guest, and she is Dr. Dawn Norfleet, PhD. Welcome her. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. How are you? Thank you for coming on.
Great to be here.
This is such a perfect match because you are just so rich with, in the musical realm, because you come from a musical family. Her mother is intense, songstress, and she taught music in the schools for a long, long time.
Taught choir at Jordan High School.
At Jordan High School. And we go back. I met her mom because both of us went to Texas Southern University, and she was there a bit before me. Quite a bit. I'm like the baby in the alumni group. But that brought us together, and it's just a fabulous family, and the brother is good too.
Oh yeah, Michael.
Michael is cool on the piano. He plays for everybody.
Yes.
So this is just such a treasure for me to have you on, and during this time, and thank you so much. She fed me some names of artists that I have forgotten about. In fact, I replied back to her and I said, oh yeah, thank you for my oh yeah, because I didn't remember about Nedra Wheeler. I listened to her music, and I don't have Regina Carter today, but I have played Regina Carter. She's on my phone, and my playlist on my phone. So, fabulous women, so thank you very much. And speaking of that, how have they influenced you? I know you probably played with some of them, but have they been an influence for you?
I had the pleasure of working with Nedra Wheeler several times over the past, since I returned to LA from New York, almost 15 years ago.
A while ago. I know time goes fast.
Yeah, and she's phenomenal, and growing up, I idolized Patrice Rushen and, Sheila E. and, people like that. And then when I was in New York, I had the opportunity to work with some who were then up-and-coming musicians, and now they're just
standards.
They're just like amazing people in their own rights now, in their own right.
And you can name drop here.
Oh yeah, let's see, Helen Sung, she's amazing pianist. Who are some other people?
Let's see, you sent me. I know you sent me a.
I had the pleasure of meeting avant-garde.
Mary Williams.
Oh, I didn't. I never met her, but I did perform in the space where she she worked in, which was oh gosh, St. Peter's, and they had a jazz vespers. Yeah, St. Peter's, I believe it was a Catholic church.
In New York?
In New York.
Oh, nice.
And so I didn't meet her, but I played in the same venue.
Because you sent me her name.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. And
know.
there's a documentary airing starting April 1st on PBS on Mary Lou Williams, and I can't wait to see it.
April 1st, PBS documentary on Mary Lou Williams.
Yeah, her career.
I have a little piece that we're going to show of her also.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, her career really spanned from boogie woogie to bebop and beyond.
Yes.
Yeah,
in fact, one of the pieces that I'm going to play, you would think it was music from today, and it's actually way back. Very talented. Well, okay, so we kind of jumped all over the place. So let's go back a little bit. And as I introduced her as doctor, let's talk about the doctor part, which gets into her whole realm of education.
Okay. Well, I have a doctorate in music in the area of ethnomusicology, which is a study of music and culture. My area of research was African American music, specifically underground hip hop in New York City.
Underground hip hop in New York. That has to be fascinating. I'd love to read that. You guys want to read that? Can we read that?
Well, my dissertation can be found online somewhere. Every once in a while, I meet students college students who told me that they've read my work, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, that I'm interested in, so we'll have to have an off-camera talk about that and get that link.
Sure.
Oh, well, very nice. And what prompted you to choose that topic?
Well, I've had a long standing relationship with jazz. My father used to play hard bop in the car when I was growing up. He was an organist and pianist and singer, an entertainer, and he and my mother used to have a group together called the Mel and Dawn Duo. And so anyway, he used to play jazz in the car, and that's how I was first exposed to it. And so growing up, I got into improvisation, and I played in jazz bands. And
okay, so you
like
started playing at what age?
At 9. Started playing flute. And in fact, my first time singing harmony was when I was 5. My mother dragged me to the Delta Choraleers rehearsal, and I guess they had family
Sigma Theta Delta sorority,
Theta.
By the way.
Yes, my mother's
avid.
My mother's sorority. She's very, very proud Delta, and so she had me sing with the choir. I guess they had family day or something like that, and that was my first time singing harmony. And, so I was exposed to singing, and then and instruments, at an early age. My brother was playing professionally since he was 12. My big brother.
Oh, nice.
And so there were always bands playing in the house. My mother taught choir,
okay.
So she was at Jordan, and so there were choir festivals and
events
concerts
to go to, and you had to go.
And people were always, doing stuff around the house, practicing. And my mother produced an opera, so I got the All in the Night Visitor. So I was hearing different kinds of music, especially choral music. And I think, between my father's jazz, my brother's R&B, and my mother's choral music of different types, that just really
that's phenomenal.
Got rooted in my spirit. So what did that have to do with hip hop? My first graduate degree was in musical composition, classical musical composition, and after I did a couple of years in that, I decided that I really wanted my dissertation focus to be somewhere else, my doctoral focus. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, what's this area, called? Like, what's this ethnomusicology thing? And so I got interested in that. But what pulled me into hip hop was when I found that there were people who actually improvised using words. That just blew my mind.
Okay.
So that was like a connection with my jazz background.
Okay. As in with improvisation and jazz.
Yeah, it was through improvisation.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
And then I just got deeper into what is culture and what is community, and why do they call it a culture as opposed to a movement, and what was the language, what were the rules of entry, and just
a lot of questions.
Yeah, and it was really fascinating. And the interesting thing about that time was that it was just a culturally rich time in New York City, because I was at Columbia. This was in the 90s.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s, knee deep in the middle of New York City.
Yes.
At Columbia University.
Yeah. So at the same time, you had the underground hip hop scene. You had spoken word that was blossoming,
Yes.
and you also had this underground jazz scene, what I call the underground jazz scene. A lot of young people who are my age and younger, who are coming from places like Alabama or Chicago,
just
Detroit.
Descending on New York City.
Yeah, and to just take part in the tradition. And, it was just an amazing time for my growth as a musician, and just intellectually and everything.
Oh,
so,
fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and so we get to benefit from that. Dawn is all over. She plays a lot in the local area, and so, I do manage to get to see you every now and then. Want to do more, we'll do more, but yeah, so we're going to, after we do a little segment, we're going to come back and talk to you as an artist. And, but know that you do a lot of stuff in the schools now,
Yes.
and she's the consummate educator. Take like 30 seconds to talk about your trip to Canada last summer.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll play some of her music.
Well, yeah, last summer I participated in a really wonderful program called the Banff International Workshop in Jazz and Creative Music. And I was one of 48 musicians selected from all over the world who came and participated in a 3-week workshop. And we got to work with each other, and also work with like really amazing instructors. The people I worked with were Jeff Tane Watts, who's like an amazing jazz drummer. The second week I got to work with the legendary bassist Reggie Workman, and in yeah,
because I'm a bass girl.
Yeah, and then the third week I worked with a young trumpet player, and his last name is Akinmusuri, and he's in the LA area, and just just interacting with people and creating and improvising and
so
learning.
The creating part. Okay,
Yeah.
Let me say this, and maybe I won't articulate it right, but this dear lady is a composer. She can write music and compose music. Okay, so that's a skill of itself. You have a lot of people who they play really well, but on top of her being an excellent musician, she's a composer also. And I think one of the pieces we're going to hear is, which is the piece that you did when you were in Canada at Banff.
Oh, this piece is called Morro Bay. It's written for one of the ensembles I worked with.
I'm going to try and squeeze that in so you can hear the creator who put this together. It was for an 8-piece?
An 8-piece ensemble, and it's featuring a trombonist, so I'm just like in there in the ensemble.
Yes, she's there, but the key is that this composed a piece that she composed and put together.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to jump into a couple of tunes, and you can introduce the good friend.
Okay.
and Something So Ordinary.
Okay.
So tell us about these two pieces that we're about to hear.
All right. Well, Good Fred Oil is a piece that I composed actually when I was in New York. So it's funky and it's fun, and I wanted to kind of bring back some memories of funk from childhood, and
Nice.
You can't get funkier than your fro with the
So
good
we'll
stuff in it.
Feel that
So-
if you were around back then.
Yeah, so Good Fred Oil
If you
was,
weren't, go ask your parents.
yeah. So it's
Okay,
the stuff
talk about
that,
who's playing,
yeah.
instrumentation.
Well, yeah. So Good Fred Oil was the stuff you put in your hair to make your fro shiny, and sometimes it would turn your hair orange or something like that.
That must have been an East Coast thing. Us West Coasters, no, we didn't do that.
Well, no, actually,
really?
it was a
Was
West
it?
Coast thing. People in New York
Oh, it must have
didn't
been
know
L.A.,
it.
not San Francisco. I was from San Francisco,
Yeah,
so I don't
okay.
remember that. But anyway, cool. We did all kinds of things with our fros.
So the instrumentation is it's me on flute, Andre Manga on bass, and he's like it's amazing. If you've ever heard of Sol Makossa,
Yes.
okay, he played with the legendary Manu Dibango.
Yes.
And more recently with Josh Groban, so he's playing bass. Wonderful pianist named John Rangel. And the drummer is Cora Dunham. And she most recently played with Beyonce, and before that played with
Nice.
Prince for years.
Okay,
But
we
this
know what kind
recording,
of chops she has.
yeah, she's amazing. Howard graduate actually,
Okay.
and she we played together years
Sounds like a
years
nice
ago.
group.
So yeah, it was
It's
an
a nice
incredible group.
Yeah. Okay, and then Something So Ordinary.
Something So Ordinary. This is on my current recording, my EP,
Which is
called Something So Ordinary.
Okay.
And let's see, who is on this? The pianist is this wonderful pianist from New York. His name is Andy Milne. The bassist is Buzz Skillings, and
Nice bass player.
yeah.
She knows how
Yeah.
to pick them.
And he's more known in the rock community, Black Rock Coalition and stuff like that. Drums, Tony Lewis, I believe. I also have Manyongo Jackson.
Go.
And who else? My brother's singing background, my brother Michael Norfleet. And I'm singing on this piece, so this is kind of more of the unusual kind of composition that I love working with. I love working with what they call odd meters, and
nice.
so
Okay.
well, yeah.
Here we go. Don Norfleet here at Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Tech tools, toys, news, hot jazz coming up, passionate living. See you in a bit.
moment just like the one, maybe, when there be no more. It's just something so ordinary. 'Cause what we're dying for. Well, I wanna live every moment just seeking love, baby. In time of war, like some bubbly science fiction, I can move into your being, raising future visionaries, but we're glad to what you see. There's just something so ordinary. It'll blow the mind. Ever anxious about the world, are we running out of time? 'Cause I wanna know, is the logic in seeking love, baby? 'Cause what we're dying for, well, I wanna live every moment just seeking love, baby. In time of war. Like somebody science fiction, I will walk into your being, raising future visionaries. We'll be glad to what you Well, I wanna live every moment just seeking love, baby. In time of war, 'cause I wanna live every moment just seeking love, baby. In time of war, 'cause I wanna live every moment just seeking love, baby. In time of war, I wanna live every moment just seeking love, baby. Every moment just seeking love, I wanna live every moment just seeking love. 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 Every moment just seeking love.
I have a jokester for an engineer here. He was shaking me up. Well, I'm awake now. Okay, that was Something So Ordinary. And prior to that was Good Fred Oil. Dr. Don Norfleet. Fabulous. And
Thank you.
so you composed,
Yes, both pieces.
wrote, produced,
Oh yeah, yes.
everything.
Yeah,
What I call DIM, do it myself.
Yes.
Instead of DIY, it's DIM, do it myself.
Yes,
Okay. That's
yeah.
what this is. Okay, so Chris.
So yes, I did produce and mix that project right there.
Okay, and you call it an EP
EP
because
it's not a
It's 4
long
tunes.
playing album. It's
it's
four.
significant.
Yeah, 4 very significant compositions on this.
Yes.
All original.
So where can people buy this?
You can buy it on CD Baby and
Baby.
on iTunes
Okay, in the iTunes store.
and Amazon and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All your normal online places that you buy because there aren't any record stores anymore that you can walk into.
Except for
Very few.
Amoeba, yeah.
Okay, yes. Here in LA, yes, we do have Amoeba.
Yeah.
There are a few places. There are a few places left.
Unfortunately.
Yes. But with streaming and downloading, these, the actual, the media, I was trying to take that. This is going away. so in terms of saving the planet from plastic, oops. Okay, I'm a tech diva. I don't know how to do paper. Okay, yeah. So again, streaming, downloading to your device. That's where all of this is going. I don't like it because I always like to own my own, and I end up saving it to a hard drive anyway, just so I can have it for posterity's sake. Because you never know, these formats change so fast that you may not be able to play it on something.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Now, talk to us. We did your education and where that flow goes, and totally passionate about that. You just heard her play flute. So talk to us about your passion as a flautist, a flutist. How do you say that?
Flutist, flautist, they're both in the dictionary.
Okay.
Sometimes I just skip the whole thing and I just say I'm a flute player.
Okay. She's a flute player.
Well, I guess I'm a little restless because I love everything that has to do with music. So I love listening to it. I love creating it, playing it, listening to it, thinking about it, drawing pictures, and now teaching.
Are you gonna be another Miles and we'll find artwork from you?
Well, I think I think I'm probably getting more into cooking, though. I've always loved to cook, but I realized it wasn't that I loved cooking as much as it was that I loved to create, and cooking provided one avenue for it.
Another avenue for creation.
So, yeah.
And that's about passion, which is the other part to the show here, is about living your passion and doing passionate things. And so cooking provides that. That actually does for me, too, in a way. But I think it kind of all has synergy, and it works for you as an artist, as a creator.
Yeah.
And so have you played other instruments? Do you play other instruments, or you just kind of embraced the flute?
I started playing flute because I thought it was pretty when I was 9. I liked pink and frilly things and girly things, and flute was shiny, and and so I wanted to play flute.
It was shiny.
It was shiny and it was pretty.
And it was pretty. I haven't heard a flute called pretty before.
Yeah, well,
but I like that.
But that's pretty much why I chose it. I mean, violins they're not shiny, and clarinets.
Violin
but flute,
is not shiny.
Flute's shiny.
Yeah.
And but it just kind of grew into one of my voices. So I would actually say my favorite instrument is probably a cello in terms of just what it makes me feel.
Cellos.
But flute is just like me.
Okay, I liked it too. Actually, a lot more. Violins really didn't have any attraction to me, but with the flute, the range and the warmth and the harmonics of the flute, and it just kind of blends with other instruments. And I'm a bass girl, so acoustic bass is really cool. And so that combination to me always was fascinating.
And one person who is a master of just getting any kind of sound out of a flute is the virtuosa flutist Nicole Mitchell. Yeah, she teaches down at UC Irvine. She's like amazing.
I have a piece but we're not going to get to her piece today. So there'll be a part 2 of women jazz instrumentalists. Okay,
check her out.
I got a lot of stuff that we're not going to get to today.
She's amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a fabulous piece, and you just like this. Oh, it's like this. Anyway, okay, so that's fabulous. Okay, and so I mentioned to my audience about your vocal range and your vocal dynamics there.
Yeah, well,
talk about that for a bit.
I have a 3.5 octave vocal range, and a lot of people say that they have a 5 octave vocal range, but I don't know.
How is that possible?
I don't know, because if you know something about music, if you think about something from here to there, that's just one segment, right? So my lowest note is, I don't know, what is it, like C in the bass clef, and my highest note is, on a very, very, very good day, is an E above the treble clef. So that turns out to be I know. And actually, I don't know, maybe my voice has gotten a little deeper. But I was trained as a high soprano, was a first soprano, so I have the upper range. And but doing jazz, I really got more into my chest voice, and so that's I do a lot of that.
Nice. Very nice. And I'm like maybe a 4-note, range. Okay, so and most of us, you don't want me to sing in the shower even. Okay, so don't ask. And people see me sometimes on the street. Oh, are you a singer? I'm like, no, but I'm a cheerleader of good singers. I'll cheerlead all day long, and most of us, we have very limited ranges. So I really, really honor the artists that actually use that range, which you will hear her use on her recordings. So we've got a few minutes left. And we're going to do show a video of her, which I really enjoyed it a lot. So we're going to do that. But Dr. Dawn Norfleet, tell us how we can reach out to you and contact you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Dawn Norfleet Music on Facebook, on YouTube, and now Twitter.
Okay, so Facebook, you know how to go to Facebook.
Yes.
This is a teachable moment here. You know how to go to facebook.com, and in the search box, you will type in Dawn, D-A-W-N, Norfleet, N-O-R-F-L-E-E-T, music. And, okay, she's showing the CD. And so you will find her Facebook page and go to youtube.com. I go to youtube.com. Yes, I'm simplifying this. So, because we're overloaded and we can't remember stuff very well. And then in the search box again, type in Dawn, same thing, Dawn Norfleet Music. Mm-hmm. And then her YouTube channel should come up as well.
Yes. And I also have stuff on, eclectic stuff on SoundCloud if you want to hear some things.
Okay, so SoundCloud.com is a music service, more or less, where a lot of musical artists, are building like a sub web page. I call it a sub web page because you can put a lot of information about your musical career on SoundCloud, and you get to hear audio clips. So SoundCloud, okay.
And probably some other things out there I'm not thinking about
just
so much.
We put our stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
so you have a lot of choices.
Even if you Google Dawn Norfleet Music, some of this stuff will come up.
Just Google. I hate to give them more money and more views, but
or Bing or Yahoo.
There's all kinds of search engines. That's going to be a show one of these days. Google is not the only search engine in town. There's 500. Okay. So we don't run out of time. We're gonna do, and I want to thank you so much. This has been fabulous. I'll have to have you back because we're not done. We got more to do here. But in the meantime, so introduce this video piece we're going to show.
Okay, this is a piece entitled Imagínate. The accompanist is the great pianist Andy Milne, and this was actually recorded 2 years ago at my alma mater, Wellesley College. I was
Wellesley College.
Thrilled to be invited to do a concert there, and this was from that performance.
Okay, great. Enjoy here at Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Tech tools, toys, news, hot jazz, passionate living. See you in a bit. this tune is playing in the background. Donna and I were talking about technology stuff and how, she doesn't really, do stuff on the phone, but she is knee deep into technology. So let's talk about this for a second, because she was mentioning how, it's called DIM, do it myself. Let's get deeper on that. Doing it herself means what?
Well, means I didn't have to wait for anybody to help me. One of the things that happened when I was in New York was I kept waiting till I had enough money to go in the studio, waiting till I had enough money to pay the musicians, waiting till I had enough people to help me out with the project, and just waiting, and my money just ended up going to the landlord. So anyway, when I decided to move back to LA, because I was really gone since I graduated from high school. I was on the East Coast, first at Wellesley, then at Columbia, then I stayed out there to get my music, career started in jazz and stuff. So when I moved back out here, I finally, was able to, save up some money. Actually, my first project was, I did it literally at home, at my mother's home, in my old bedroom.
Okay.
I recorded it there.
Technology got to a point where you can create music in your bedroom now.
Yes.
Some of you know about that. Okay, so let's talk about what it took to do that.
Well, I had, the funny thing was, I had written a classical choral piece. I submitted it to a competition. Turns out I won.
Nice.
And with the money that I got for the competition, I was able to buy a digital portable recording studio.
Portable digital recording all-in-one studio.
Yeah, and it's about the size of, I don't know, it's a cake box or something. Yeah, I mean, it's
the size of this laptop.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
thicker, but it's it was called a BR 1180, and it was put out by Boss Roland. And
I was going to say Roland probably did it.
Yeah.
To where you plugged in, you did MIDI. It had MIDI, like one of the early ones.
Yeah, so this
MIDI.
was 2003.
MIDI had been around a long time.
And it totally. I mean, I was like a kind of a jazz head. I totally did not. I was not like trying to be Prince, trying to do everything myself. I wanted the whole musicians, the bands and all, but I just said, okay, you know what? I'm able to do this whole project by my dang self. So I had a piano, I had my flute, I had my voice, I had this unit, set it up in my bedroom, recorded the whole, it was my first EP, recorded the whole project in my bedroom.
Recorded the whole project in her bedroom. So.
Yes.
She is a technology maven of a different kind. Okay.
Yeah. Very selective. So
yes,
with my
second today.
Yeah. Well, with my second project, this time I was really going to use, live band. I actually went to New York and
go
recorded
in the studio.
Went in the studio with these wonderful musicians. And long story short, things still didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, and I had to come back and re-record things. And at that point,
you were in charge of the re-records.
At that point, I said, okay, once again, I saved money. I ended up getting a Logic Pro, which is a professional digital.
Apple Logic.
Yeah. Professional editing software.
It is the standard, the grandmother of software, creation software for musicians.
Yeah, well, that and Pro Tools, but Pro Tools. A lot of producers like Pro Tools, and a lot of musicians, in my experience, like Logic. I think that's what it was, for different reasons. But I used Logic. So now I had to learn this because Logic 9.
Learning curve.
Yeah, so they have this little thing, you know, Apple has a thing where if you buy the product, you pay $99 and you can get this thing called one-to-one. So I had this really wonderful instructor named Michael. I won't blast him, I don't want to ever, you know. But just, I mean, but he was like the most excellent instructor, and so I worked with him pretty much for like
To
a year.
learn how to use the
learn this
Logic
thing.
software.
I went to different workshops. I had friends who helped me along, and you know, so what I ended up with was a product that, you know, it's not perfect in my eyes, but it is there. It's my statement. And I didn't have to
statement
wait.
that you can claim.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yes.
And I didn't have to wait for people and this and that, and you know. So yeah, I wanted to get it done.
Technology has enabled her
Yes.
to create and give you her passion.
Yes.
And I thank you for sharing that piece with us here today and sharing you. Okay, we only have a couple of minutes, but Don, this has been fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, you're always welcome to come back, because we actually have a part 2 of Women Jazz Instrumentalists, because I only got to half the music. There's like a lot more that's really, really good. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. And okay, so I got to get out of here, but enjoy the rest of your week. And this is Zenobia here, the Touchable Tech Diva, bringing you tech. My brain is all over the place. Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Homework, go out and hear some live music. If not, go to the YouTube channel, Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle. Look for Women Jazz Instrumentalist channel on the Tech Diva and the Luxury Lifestyle channel. There's some goodies there right now that you can enjoy, some pieces that I didn't get to today, so you'll be front loaded and enjoy. And thank you, Dr. Don. Oh, one more thing.
Oh, I would also like to, if it's possible.
Oh, he's switching the camera.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I got a chance to record with this wonderful, amazing saxophonist from LA, Kamasi Washington, and he has a release party for his upcoming album called The Epic, and it's May 4th, and I'll be singing in his choir.
Oh, nice.
So it's at the Regent. So you know, if you Google Kamasi Washington, I'm sure you'll find that information.
Great, and then you keep in touch with me, and then I'll blast it out through
May
my
4th.
now social network so that some of us can show up. Okay, thanks everyone. Zenobia here. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you next time. Bye-bye.